If you follow us on Whatnot, you've probably heard the news that we are getting ready to sell our house here in Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to stay in the Jacksonville market, but we're looking to downsize a little bit and hopefully get some land that I can build, or maybe already has, a giant shed, like a barn, so that I can do my woodworking and my husband can do his woodworking without taking up the entire garage and without storage taking up our entire home. Something that I can have a house inside and a workspace outside, well, enclosed, but not in the house. And so with that coming, we're making changes inside the house. Some of those I'll share with you, but mostly what I'm focused on right now is not shopping for new stuff. It's utilizing what's already on hand, getting rid of some of that overstock, those projects that I've been meaning to do, and getting them complete. So today's video is going to be all about repurposing and getting stuff done in as effective and quick a manner as possible. I'm going to start with all of this silver. I actually have, this is not even a tiny portion of it. I'm going to give it a quick clean. Then I am going to paint it, give it a nice base paint of white.
I'm just going to wipe everything down, make sure there's no thrift tag stickers or estate sale stickers on it, and remove any glue if that happens to be on there. I am using Krylon 2-in-1, that's spray paint and primer all in one. This happens to be chalky finish, but remember, this is only for a base coat.
As I was recording this video, because I have so many ongoing projects, I decided that I wasn't going to show you base painting and things like that. I was just going to show you some of the highlights of how I put it together and then show you the finished products. That way you would have inspiration. I will list all of the colors and the transfers that I used in the description below. But here I am using, actually, this is a redesign with Prima Transfer. We do sell those on our Thursday night Whatnot shows, our DIY night, by the sheet and by the pack. We sell IOD by the sheet of the transfers. So you can always pick up some of the products that we use in our videos and what we sell on our Thursday night Whatnot shows. But here I am just adding transfers to this water pitcher, I guess. And what I'm highlighting here, I mean, yes, I am obviously showing you how to use a transfer. It's pretty easy. This is a rounded surface, which makes it more difficult. You'll see I have several cut lines, and what those do is help to allow the transfers to go on a rounded surface. And then you'll also see I have a towel underneath, and that's going to help support the curvature of the item that I am working with. See all the little cutouts there? And that will help make this an easier process so that it's not rolling around. And there's kind of a peak. Once I have the transfer done, I want to go ahead and start gilding. Now, for you, there's a lot of great products out there on the market for gilding materials. I'm going to put what I use in the description below, along with the specific tone that I used for these projects. So if you want to know, you can pop over there. But I have decided, sometimes I paint all of this the same color. In this case, I decided to have a little more contrast, which does take me longer. But I really wanted to have something more than just a plain single colored vessel with a transfer on it. And for the second picture that I'm doing, I'm just going to show you kind of how I do the cut lines so that you can more easily replicate it if you want to. The idea is that a flat surface around a curved one, you need some relief lines. And sometimes I'll have to go in even deeper actually into the transfers, but it really does make a tremendous difference if you do these little cut lines, these reliefs to get it around a rounded object. And here are both completed teapots. I would love to hear your feedback in the description below on how you think these are done. The blue teapot is done with an IOD transfer, and the pink one is done with a redesign with Prima. After gilding and transfers, both of these pitchers, teapots, were sealed with a polyacrylic spray. I decided I didn't want to hand paint all of them. These are going to be for decorative purpose only. So I did apply a satin sheen and top coat to help protect everything once it was done. On our Whatnot marketplace and during our Thursday Whatnot shows, we actually sell some of these different wooden shapes. And on this case, I have chosen a couple different wooden shapes and have added transfers to them just the way I did everything else. And now I am gilding them with the same color and tone that I used on the teapots slash pitchers. I wanted to keep this to be pretty consistent. Now you see me going back and forth. That's because all my filming is being done with my new, I got them for Christmas, Meta glasses, and I thought it'd be a really cool way to do the DIYs because you would see specifically from my perspective. And now I can't decide if it is annoying or cool that you see every time I move my head and look at something different and specifically what I'm looking at. So I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. So here I'm actually adding some highlights with that gilding on the transfers themselves. And I'm going to gild both the inside and the outside of this sort of floral round shape, scalloped round shape. And you can see the little transfer above. What I'm working with here is actually a vegetable tray, silver plated. And I try to pick ones that are not in good condition. This one actually has the little loops on the top and bottom. On the inside, I'm just gluing a wooden block. This should adhere to the paint pretty well. We're going to have almost no weight on it, so I don't really see an issue with it popping off later. You certainly could use other types of glue. I'm just going to mount this little board that I transferred and gilded onto the center of that so that it's raised. And then I will use a ribbon that you can make this a wall hanging. I'm also going to add, just for a little bit of a detail, some rickrack ribbon here around the edge. I just thought it would add an interesting touch, a little more dimension, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how these projects came out. This pretty little pink bunny wagon one is actually a very shallow bowl, but it was enough that I could go ahead and put a centerpiece in it. And I just, you know, those pieces don't always even sell well for us painted when we find them. So I was looking for something that I could do with these pieces that I already had on hand that would be unusual. And gallery walls are a big thing right now. And so I thought this might be just sort of a fun way to use the shapes that we sell and also put something different out there for the consumer that maybe they haven't seen before. So I told you I would show you how I mounted some of those pieces on the wall. And this really is about E6000 and D-rings. D-rings are one of my favorite things, but in this case, I am literally just putting a daub of E6000 down, putting my D-ring on it, and then where it's squished through the hole, I'm kind of like layering that over the sides. And I'm gonna do this with all of the pieces that needed a backing. In this case, you haven't seen this one yet, but this is a basic lid. I'm putting it in a box to hold it flat, and I'm going to put D-rings on the sides of the back so that I can string a wire, and then I will be able to use this as a coat hook in a hallway off the wire. And here is a different example of it. And for the ones that are landscape, I just did 2 D-rings. And again, here are some examples of using this silver plate. in this way that I have designed, just to create some interest on a like a gallery wall. And there's the lid, actually hung up. That's a scratch on my wall. Ignore it. It had nothing to do with the piece itself. And you can see it's holding, well, it's holding a little lace dress that I have. But I think it came out really cute. And the wire will make it very secure. Rub and buff is what I've been using for all of these projects. In this case, this bowl is going to be a bowl. I have used my fingers sometimes, and sometimes I use a brush. It really depends on the effect I want and how I'm feeling at that moment, how I think I'm going to accomplish what I want to the best. In this case, I am not so much showing you the technique of how I'm adding, but did you just see what happened right there? Was I got some of the rub and buff on the finished piece where I didn't want it. It's no longer on the actual edges. And so I've just continued along. If I've gotten it in places I don't want to, I'm just going to keep going on this, and I'm going to show you how to fix that without having to touch up paint. Whenever you run into an issue of creating an accidental wax mistake, the answer is clear wax. In this case, I had the beeswax on the table already from a previous project, not out of this batch, and decided that that would be what I was going to use. So it's like, oh, where's my rag? Oh, okay, I don't have a rag. So I'm just going to use this towel I have underneath, and I'm just going to wipe it right off. And I can go around the entire piece and clean all of that up, and it looks very nice at the end. So it is the great fixer for all of your problems. Just go around anywhere you've had issues and wipe it up. Now, I do recommend keeping a clean white cloth next to you for this, because this is not the best fabric to be using on it. And actually, I do think maybe because I did this in so many areas, I kind of got a little bit of soft gold in the edges, creating a little bit of an ombre effect, if I'm honest. But a soft white cloth would have better fixed that little issue right there. And here you can see I actually did end up putting a little more oil down and wax down and getting a paper towel to clean that off. Let's take a look at the finished project. Now, as you can see, when I got that cleaned up mostly, I did go ahead and add some gold to the bottom, just showing off some of that detail a little more. You can see what I'm talking about it having a little bit of an ombre effect. Now, if I used regular wax, I think I would have had a better fix on that. And the bottom I left unpainted. No need to paint that. And so there were a couple other projects that I completed this week using these same methods that I'm going to go ahead and show you the finished projects. I didn't really film anything for them because there wasn't anything unique or different. All of the techniques I've already shown you are going into these projects. I'm just putting them up for inspiration for you, just so you can get ideas on how maybe you can style some of these pieces that you can pick up really cheap at estate sales and thrift stores, particularly if the brass or copper underneath is showing, and they do come out really nice. I've actually already sold this tray for $45, so you can really see. You saw this at the beginning where I was cleaning and wiping it off. I paid $4 for the top, which I think really showcases what is potential out of these pieces. Come join us Thursday nights on Whatnot at SquirrelandBeeHome, and we do DIY products available there. Whatnot's a good, fun, live place for you to come hang out with Sue and I. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit like and subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video.